Alright, how's it going? I put out a tune a few weeks ago called What's It All For, and I'm really chuffed with how it's been received. I got a lot of really nice messages from folk, and for anyone that's heard it, there's like a lot of guitar in it, right? It's kind of my thing, and I enjoy writing all these guitar parts that kind of fit together in some kind of like musical Sudoku. But actually, more time I think actually goes into writing and recording all the stuff that's happening like behind the guitars and around them, and I really enjoy getting into like the weeds of all that, because it's all really subtle, it's all really layered up, and I like the idea of you being able to like listen to it on your third, fourth, fifth time and hear things that you didn't hear the other times. So I thought I would take you through some of the things that are happening in the background that you might have missed. So I'm going to start with this here, these frozen string textures from Spitfire. This one here is like concertino, tremolo, right on the point of the bow, like as quiet as it kind of gets really. And I've layered that up with some, it's soltasto moving into flautendo and then moving back again. I'm playing in octaves as well, so there's like no harmony there really, and it's just kind of outlining the sort of movement that the chords are doing. And then so putting the tremolo and the soltasto flautendo together, just you get this really wide sound but with this kind of like scrapey sort of sound through it. And you can see here I've got some synths that then come in after, which by themselves, just it's like a big hug of a synth that comes in. It's just massive and warm. And so again mixed in with the strings that we had from just a second ago. Later on the proper strings come in. This is Spitfire's BBC Symphony Orchestra, just using the leaders of each section, so it's like a quartet rather than like going for the orchestral sound. When it comes to writing strings for this stuff, you know, I can do all the big kind of flamboyant, theatrical, dense harmony stuff that you know, like I did for uni. But when it comes to writing my own stuff, I really like very little movement, lots of subtle, small steps in harmony, and also a really close, raw, almost kind of scrapey sort of sound. And also no vibrato. So we get that really kind of modern, cinematic, almost kind of Nordic sort of sound. Wonderful. And then I've actually got some synths that kind of come in with that, so a synth bass and then some kind of arpeggio kind of thing, and then I'll rise at the end to really get the end feel like it's going somewhere. And also at this point, I know I said I'd kind of mostly avoid the guitars, but there's a cool wee thing that I like handing in the guitars here, which is this kind of call and response between the left and the right, channel. And then we get some strings again happening at the end, which again another example of like all these like really small movements happening. And again, really gritty, no vibrato, really close, up close sound. There's that wee part in the middle where the dynamics just like pull away and come back in. It's like a sigh. I think I quite like it, if I say so myself. And just lastly, we have the piano and another wee string texture. I didn't know the string texture even existed until I got this library, or I didn't even really know it had a name rather. Which is collegno tratto, which is playing with the bow, but instead of tapping, like actually bowing with it, so it's like a super quiet sound. You can hear all the movement there, all the texture, all the wee points where the bow just catches the string a wee bit, so you just get a tiny wee bit of a note. And then it dies off again. So that's blended in with the piano playing the tune. Just helps to kind of fill it out. It's a great sound. And then the way that this kind of wraps up, this is something that it's like a cliche at this point. I do it on absolutely everything. I need to find something else to do. Is rather than fade it out, is apply a high cut filter that kind of like sweeps across, so that eventually you just end up with no frequencies coming through, rather than just dipping the volume. Quite easy to miss, I think. So again, when you hear that with the piano, as it happens, that's how the piece starts right at the beginning, but it starts the opposite way. You see like the filter is already on, and then it kind of comes off as the piece kind of gets going. So I hope that was interesting. This is the kind of content I love watching on YouTube because I'm a total nerd. But yeah, I kind of wanted to put this together because it's dead easy to hear all the guitars and the drums happening in it. As I say, so much more time actually goes into writing and recording all this stuff that happens in the background, so make sure it's not too much or too little, and it really fills the sound out. Especially when it comes to writing for the strings, because I just love writing the string parts. So I hope you found that interesting, and if you haven't heard the tune in its entirety, just search Danny Scott on Spotify and it'll be there somewhere.